It's been close to 3 years since I last tackled this particular subject for a list, and even then, that was only a top 5. With that aside, Overwatch has received 8 new heroes, well, 9 if you include Sojourn, since I made that list, bringing the overall hero count to 32, and my opinions on a few of the heroes in that original video have changed either for the better or for worse. Nerfs, buffs, new lore pieces, new heroes, a lot has changed in Overwatch. And with the game's 4th anniversary on the horizon, or it's happening right now depending on when this video gets done, I'd say there's no better time to revisit this list than now. So, let's revisit an old list of mine, but with double the entries. Meaning this is a top 10, so let's just begin already. Ash is your typical cowgirl hero. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. Ash was added to Overwatch in November of 2018, after first being seen in the McCree animated short Reunion. Ash burst onto the scene not too long after, staking a claim as one of the most average DPS characters in Overwatch. Okay, so I'm not exactly a damage role player, I'm primarily a support player. But that's not going to stop me from passing judgment on damage role heroes. So Ash is the first entry on this list because, when it comes to her, I actually think she's a pretty solid hero. I've always had a liking for Ash, not in that way, mostly because of her design. I just really like the cowboy slash cowgirl aesthetic, and because of her ultimate ability, Bob. Bob is the best, there's always room for Bob. A short entry this may have been, but I can assure you that these will get longer, obviously. I mean, that kind of comes with the territory. Edge himself, Reaper. Reaper's on the list solely because he's a lot of fun to play, which, yeah, I guess that would factor into every single hero on this list in the first place, so whatever. I really like Reaper's aggressive playstyle, getting in the face of tank heroes and such, and just wreaking havoc, only to then leave as fast as you entered using his Wraith ability. Shotguns in any game have always been fun to use, for me, so to play a character who wields dual shotguns just feels all the more satisfying. Not only that, but Reaper has some pretty damn good skins too, with my favourite being his pumpkin one. The gold guns with that skin in particular look amazing. Overall, while I think the over edginess is a little much, Reaper's just such a fun hero to play that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So yeah, Reaper's at number 9 for those reasons. Also, this is a very last minute addition actually, but I wanted to acknowledge Reaper's Masquerade skin, which was added with the Overwatch anniversary event. It's a work of art, honestly. A little bit of a bias here for reasons I'll get into in a second. Orisa is kind of a special case for me, which I'll get into in a second. Before that though, I just wanted to say that I really like Orisa as both an idea and a character. First, she was created by Efi, solely to be a protector against Doomfist, who was the next hero to be added to Overwatch after Orisa was in 2017, so that was a neat little bit of foreshadowing there. Second, how Orisa was portrayed, as in, an otherwise playful and fun character who can get down to business in no time, is just so cool to me. If you look at many of Orisa's voice lines and or emotes, she's portrayed as kinda cute. Cute as in adorable, I mean. Take her sit emote for example, where she turns around in a circle, much like a dog would, before then sitting down. There's also her puppy emote, which is her open up gift box, only to find a puppy dog inside, and then watch and enjoy as it plays around. Everything is just really cute is what I'm trying to say here. And finally, the bias. Right, so a while back now, I uploaded a video titled Orisa's sit emote is adorable. What's so special about this, you ask? Well, it was the first video of mine to do really well, eventually reaching over 600 total views. Quite a few of my vids, mostly AViVA, have surpassed that view count since, but the point is, because of that, Orisa holds a sort of special place in my heart. I realise that this entry kind of seems like me flexing, which, if you got that from this, my bad, I just wanted to get my point across, I wasn't exactly sure how to. hate Sombra, let's just be honest here. Calling her anti-fun and whatnot, and to an extent, I can see where those people are coming from, but I feel differently about Sombra. See, I've always liked how she plays. The idea of infiltrating the enemy team to serve as a distraction, and to temporarily leave one wide open to attack is a fun concept in my opinion. I haven't exactly sunk too many hours into her, but I've always wanted to learn how to play her to a semi-competitive level, which is about as good as I can do really. Secondly, I've always liked her design. There's something so cool about it, but I just can't pin down one exactly. I guess all I can say about it is that it's really fitting for a playstyle, as in, it makes sense. Also, the build up to a reveal was pretty cool in my opinion, being sort of an ARG, an alternate reality game, in which, over the months leading up to her reveal at BlizzCon in 2016, the Overwatch team planted cryptic clues about the character in various pieces of promotional material and within the game's code itself. The ARG wasn't too well received by the end of it all, but it was a pretty neat approach to content distribution. Too bad I only picked up the game in December of that year, so I couldn't participate in the interest, but hey, whatever. Oh, and Sombra's animated short is pretty nice. It's one of my favourites actually. Also, Demon Hunter is objectively the best Sombra skin, just saying. Speaking of animated shorts I love, Bastion is my absolute favourite. It's so beautiful in terms of presentation and storytelling, it's great. But that's not what we're here to talk about. But it is a part of it. Anyway, Bastion. I believe Bastion was actually the #1 entry in the original hero list, so yeah, Bastion now being at number 6 is quite different. But that aside, I've always loved Bastion, ever since the very beginning. Sure, he may be low effort in terms of skill, and the point and click adventures you go on with him may seem a little shallow, but I love this robot dude. Bastion's not only got a pretty solid design, but whenever he resumes his turret form, every aspect of his sentry mode has been thought through on, and the transformation makes sense, in terms of where everything is, and I think that's really cool. Just a shame the same doesn't really apply to his tank form, which he takes up when using his ultimate, but hey, you can't have everything. Another aspect of Bastion I really like is his little buddy, if you will, Ganymede. Ganymede's the little bird that accompanies Bastion, except in actual gameplay where he goes. You can see Ganymede in some emotes, in some highlight intros, and the species of the bird even changes depending on what skin Bastion has equipped. For example, with Bastion's avalanche skin, Ganymede is actually a little snow owl, which, of course, makes for really neat attention to detail. And hey, let's be honest with ourselves here, playing Bastion every once in a while just so you can shred your opponents in turret form is always super fun. Another hero who's returning to the list, Zenyatta used to be my most played support hero. That is, until... we'll get back to that. Anyway, Zenyatta is an Omnic, who are a race of sentient robots within the Overwatch universe that are somewhat of a catalyst for the return of Overwatch in the lore. And I don't know, the idea of a robot who is also a monk and has achieved levitation is not only really cool, but it's also kind of funny to me. Kinda wish Zame was immune to Junkrat's traps because of the whole levitation thing, which would make a lot of sense, but hey, what can you do? Anyway, Zenyatta is at number 5 for multiple reasons. First off, I like his playstyle as this character who can provide decent assistance and healing, and can also hold his own, using his Orbs of Destruction along with his Orb of Discord, which increases damage dealt to enemies who haven't placed on them. Overall, Zenyatta is surprisingly fun to play, and it just feels great whenever you can go wild with him. He's the Overwatch equivalent of 0 to 100, if that makes any sense. There's also the matter with Zenyatta's skins. Admittedly, there aren't many here that I can say I particularly like. That is, except for one, Cultist. The skin is essentially just Cthulhu, no ifs, ands or buts, and it looks awesome. I remember seeing it for the first time when it released with the 2018 Halloween Terror event, and just being in awe at how amazing it looked, and I still hold the exact same opinion of it today. By pure concept alone, Genji is arguably the coolest hero on the roster. I mean, he's a cybernetic ninja for God's sake. What's not to like about that? That's so cool. Fanboying over Genji's design aside, which is a major factor as to why Genji is where he is on this list, Genji's always been a personal favourite of mine, obviously, as I'm sure he has been for many others. Genji's playstyle of knowing when to be aggressive is a really fun one. For a while, people were saying how Genji was more of a 4-star difficulty hero rather than a 3-star one, which is the highest rated difficulty a hero can be classed as. Why is this? Well, it's mostly because of Genji's deflect ability, which, in all fairness, does take a different kind of mastering compared to just learning a hero normally. And on that note, Genji's deflect ability is one of my favourites in Overwatch. It's just so satisfying to deflect back enemy projectiles, with the most satisfying things to deflect being D.Va's micro missiles, which is a barrage of projectiles, so that's fun. Zaya's Graviton Surge, which, yeah, I don't need to say anything about that one, and, of course, deflected sniper shots into headshots. All of these are super fun to pull off. Just a shame I'm not good enough to do so. And when it comes to Genji, he has some of the best skins in the game, with my favourite of his being VØLV, which not only looks fantastic, but combined with his golden weapon variant, just looks amazing. Ooh, this may ruffle some jimmies. Echo, who is the most recent hero to be added to Overwatch, and will be the last until Sojourn, who will release alongside Overwatch 2 for both games apparently, has caused quite a stir in the ever-dwindling community. See, she's overpowered. Like, way overpowered. Like, holy shit, how did they let a hero like this release on the live servers, even with putting her on the PTR first, like all new heroes, and not changing anything about her to balance her more? That aside though, I really like Echo. Debuting, much like Ash, in McCree's animated short, Reunion, when people saw Echo for the first time, everyone, including myself, immediately thought she was going to be the next hero. But the Overwatch team, being who they are, led us on for a while, promising us she would be added eventually, and what do you know? Here we are, close to a year and a half later, and they said that she's available to play. Better late than never, I suppose. At any rate, when it comes to Echo, I love her. Not in that way, but you get the idea. See, when I was putting together her hero guide for this channel's Overwatch Hero Guide series, which you should totally check out pretty please, I would greatly appreciate it, I fell in love with her kit and the idea that she's this super futuristic robot designed to protect humanity, which Overwatch has only played with the idea a couple of times in the past. In my opinion, Echo is really fun to play. Now, of course, I'm absolute trash of her, which is a trend with me on non-support / tank class heroes it seems, but I'm way more into learning how to play her than I am with Sombra, who I talked about earlier. In fact, Echo's kind of reinvigorated my passion for Overwatch, which has only been here and there for quite a while now. Also, I really loved the skins she was given, especially her legendary ones of course. My favourite of hers is Stealth, although I am quite partial to her Butterfly one too. Overall, Echo's a great addition to Overwatch, though I do think she'll be nerfed pretty soon, inevitably outdating the guide I made for her, so maybe I'll hate Echo come next week, I don't know. See, back in Genji's entry I foreshadowed D.Va being in this list. Except I never actually made it clear that was foreshadowing D.Va in any ways, so...
Shut up!
Nevertheless, D.Va. Being another hero that was on the original list, I can't say my opinions of D.Va have changed that much, really. Well, she's low on the list, first off, but that's besides the point. Anyway, D.Va has been one of my favourite heroes for a long time now, ever since the game's release, in fact. Being the resident gaming girl of Overwatch, well, to be more specific, D.Va is a former professional gamer who now uses her skills to pilot a state-of-the-art mech in defense of her homeland. So, yeah, how many Twitch gamer girls can say they've done that, huh? Amazing concept of my future dream aside, D.Va is again a very popular hero in Overwatch, and not just for the reasons you may think. See, D.Va has a really fun playstyle, that being an aggressive one, and seeing as she's part of Overwatch's tank class, that fun, aggressive playstyle just becomes a lot more fun. I've been using the word fun a lot in these last entries, by the way. It's always just so much fun to get in the face of the enemy team and then just fly away shortly after using D.Va's boosted ability, which, with its 4-second cooldown times, means you can be on the move pretty much constantly. And, of course, The elephant in the room, that is D.Va's ultimate ability, self-destruct. You know this ultimate, I know this ultimate, we don't need to talk about it here. Other than it's so gratifying to pull off a 4-man kill or higher. There's also the matter of D.Va's animated short, Shooting Star, which I do believe I've talked about before in the past, but if not, I'll just say that it's a great one. It's not my favourite, that goes to the Bastion's one, the last Bastion, which I mentioned earlier, but Shooting Star is a close second or third. Finally, when it comes to D.Va's skins, much like with a lot of heroes on this list, including the final one, there are a lot of them that I love. Ones such as the Soul Dynasty home variant, Black Cat, Police Officer, Cruiser, Wave Racer, and my absolute favourite, Academy. Mostly because it goes super well with D.Va's Golden Guns, which I have, by the way, and so only one entry remains. Well, but for those of you who know me, you didn't see this one coming, huh? All jokes aside, let me explain. So, back in April of 2018, around the time when the Overwatch team decided to hold a charity event for BCRF, the Breast Cancer Research Foundation, they released a skin for Mercy called Pink. And during this mini-event, I decided to start playing Mercy, because, you know, I bought a skin, donated to charity, and I wanted to show my support for the cause, which, it was a fantastic cause, raising over $30 million for BCRF. But little did I know that this would send me on a path that I cannot possibly recover from. Yeah. I pretty much just picked up Mercy on a whim. Well, in all fairness, I did have some time clocked on her before that point, but it wasn't much. Maybe around 14-15 hours? I don't remember exactly. But anyway, yeah, that sure happened. All that aside though, I do genuinely enjoy playing Mercy, no matter how much I joke to my friends I hate doing so, whenever we're playing competitive. Just being able to keep your allies alive while also zipping around the battlefield is a really fun concept to me, made all the more fun by a neat little trick you can pull off as Mercy, referred to as bunny hopping, where you press the bound jump key / button again within a second of using a Guardian Angel ability. My buddy Helynt gets onto me a lot for abusing this trick, most often in situations where it's more of a detriment, but I just can't help it, it's so much fun to do. And also, Mercy's character, as in her personality, is great. Being this otherwise kind and gentle pacifist on the surface, while also having a more sarcastic edge to her, depending on the situation, which is reflected greatly in her voice lines.
Someone called the ambulance. I have the distinct feeling that I'm needed somewhere. You're welcome. Sometimes you scare me.
Lucy Pohl, the voice actress for Mercy, does a great job with her in my opinion, which is the case with all the heroes on this list. But, you know, their respective VAs obviously. As for Mercy's skins, again, like D.Va, she has so many that I love. The ones that come to mind are Fortune, Combat Medic Ziegler, Winged Victory, Witch, the aforementioned Pink skin, and 2019 Atlantic All-Stars. All of these are fantastic in my opinion. Oh, and did I mention they all go super well with Mercy's Golden? Because they do. And I guess, on one last note, a more embarrassing one for that matter, I actually had a crush on Mercy for quite a while back in 2017, just after they released her Combat Medic Ziegler skin with the Uprising event. And when I first saw it, I specifically remember saying, that is the epitome of beauty. Just... I've always been really easy. So yeah, Mercy's my favourite Overwatch hero. Have fun with that last bit, by the way. And so, those were my top 10 favourite Overwatch heroes. I love Overwatch. I always have done. I probably won't ever stop loving it. The game means so much to me in so many ways, and one of those is its vast and interesting character roster, which is something many have come to expect from Blizzard. What does the future hold for Overwatch? It's hard to say with everything up in the air right now, with the business side of things of Activision trying to encroach more and more on a once beloved developer, the slowly dwindling interest in what was once a massive hit, and with the general uncertainty that these times have been making a mainstay, is a mystery as of right now. However, with Overwatch 2 somewhere on the horizon, and with Blizzard saying they'll keep supporting this Overwatch into 2's release, I'm not giving up hope on this series just yet.